Welcome to this channel. So after I have shared my previous YouTube on comparison of the 1960s Wing Chun and 1850s Wing Chun in reference to the MMA, many of our friends asked me to share more on the 1850s Wing Chun momentum handling. I will share more on this aspect, but I will not hand this thing out as a tool so that people are using it for their fighting. In this channel, I like to share on what is the art about, not to provoke or giving people tools to go fighting. Not to mention, I always present it, such as in the recent the H model and Q model. If one do not have the functional training, one cannot do it. If one do not have the fourth level of the four-level model, the momentum combination, one cannot really use it anyway. Okay, so I don't want to give you something which is for people to test it out and cause oneself or other people problem or injury. And I'm not promoting violence or aggression here. This is just for art. So there's the guideline I'm going to share. On the other hand, I have received many messages from our friends asking me, are you serious? Is Wing Chun really works? Is Wing Chun actually work? Does Wing Chun actually works? So after I chat with this group of friends and found out their logic is in, oh, does Wing Chun have enough sparring? Wing Chun have this pressure test? And then this grandmaster, that grandmaster, this fighter, that guy, fighter, all sort of stuff. I decide to share with you the following today. Number one, how is those so-called pressure tests actually sparring lead people to know anything? Okay. The logic is this. If we have no idea what it is, how can we make a judgment on what it is? So all these friends show me this commentary videos, that opinion videos, but none, zero, have any technical base. What they base on is this guy fight this guy, this look like Wing Chun, this look like Thai boxing, this look like Western boxing, this is a mix of all kinds of stuff. And then some say, well, you know, this demonstrations of this grandmaster have no resistance, and this the fighter is actually using other martial arts, and all this thing on and on and on and on. So I spent many hours with these friends, and I just listened to find out what happened. That's why today I want to share with you. Let me ask you a question. If you buy a cell phone, if the guy who sell you the cell phone say, oh, this has been tested, This has been tested. This has been working in the field. Thus, this is the best. This actually works. Will you buy into that? I don't. I'm an engineer. I want to ask, what is your CPU speed? Is it a 4G or 5G? Okay? So don't give me all those testing this, testing that, pressure testing this and that. What are you testing? That is the key, because I'm an engineer. Same with martial arts. What are you testing? It look alike. Have you trained that thing? Do you know that thing? It's like I'm trying to sell you a cell phone saying that this is the best in the world, has been tested, has been using in the field. But I have no idea of is it 4G or 5G. I have no idea on the CPU's specs and how fast is the memory, the RAM react. So how can I judge? So we need to know technically what is going on before we make a judgment. Today in YouTube, everybody can sit down, just look at the whoever fight whom, who win, who lose, and then judge that this work or that work. You just look at those people who do those commentary, you know they don't know what they are talking about. So it's just like, oh, this phone works. This phone doesn't work because I tested this thing. Okay, you see this guy, this celebrity doing this and that, but they never tell you about what is the CPU speed. Is that 4G or 5G? So if you want to test something, you test, is it a 4G? Is it past 4G or 5G? What is your CPU speed? I need a number. Okay? Only that way you know what it works or not. See, works or not is very different than who win, who lost, or what impressed me. No, our mind has to be this clear. Now, from the previous video, we know one thing. The 1960s Wing Chun and the 1850s Wing Chun are two different type of animal. They are two different type of things. So here on, the term Wing Chun really need to be further clarified. What are you talking about? What type of Wing Chun? Okay. Is that 1960 or is that your own creation? You name it as Wing Chun? Or it is Wing Chun per Chinese history? Now, speak of the 1850 Wing Chun. The reason why I make that H model and Q model is exactly like I just mentioned just now on the cell phone. Is it a 5G or 4G or 6G? What is the CPU speed? The H model and the Q model is to list the entire thing down. Technically, item by items, you know that thing works or not. It got nothing to do with, is it Hendrik a grandmaster or XYZ a grandmaster or past 60 years who is the grandmaster of Wing Chun? Got nothing to do with that. Or who is the fighter of Wing Chun? Got nothing to do with that. It is go by specs. So there is a reason for the H model and Q model. You want to talk what works or what not work? It's not who win, who lost. Who fight look like what. Yet have no understanding on what is Wing Chun, what is traditional Chinese martial arts. This is very important. We need to think clearly. So again, that get back to the General Qi Ji Guang's 460 years ago. You think General Qi Ji Guang will clean up the battle with the pirates if he's not doing spec by specs? And as you guys who have watched my the Q model, you know that General Qi Ji Guang lists everything down in details. Now, so one question usually in Asia, many of the young Chinese usually go argue with me saying that, you know, in the ancient there is no ground fighting like the jiu-jitsu, okay? Yet they have no idea on the Q model. They don't know what it is, but they just go for sake of that. And today I like to share with you. By history evidence, do you know who is General Qi Ji Guang fighting? Do you know? You know there's Japanese pirate. You know they have katana, right? Do you know who they are? Well, many of these pirates are warriors from Japan. And what did they train in? Jiu-jitsu. Okay? So you look at the jiu-jitsu, if you go do a history check, in the Sengoku period, the Sengoku period, there's jiu-jitsu already, in the Sengoku period, around 1467 to 1603. Okay? And you know that General Qi Ji Guang defeated the Japanese pirate and wrote that classic in 1560. Okay? So you have the Sengoku period, 1467 to 1603. And you have General Qi Ji Guang right in the middle there, 1560, wrote that classic, how he defeat or clean up the battle where the pirates, you can read in the history, are Japanese warrior. And of course they know katana and they know jiu-jitsu. Okay? So we let history, real life and death history, tell us what is the truth. You think if a General Qi Ji Guang do not itemize all like the Q model and the get every training really clean, like again I like to say it in my book Kung Fu 1560s, read the Kung Fu 1560 on the details of what General Qi Ji Guang do to train his army. Do you think he have a chance? And so, like in the Q model, martial art is keeping growing. But you know that by the General Qi Ji Guang Classic at that time, there is already a really mature. It's really ahead of our time in many things in martial arts, including today's MMA. So that when people these days arguing, yeah, again, this is a lot of young Chinese say, you know, MMA is from this British guy, this Japanese guy. Sorry. You look at General Qi Ji Guang chapter 14, you know he's more comprehensive than anybody who talks martial arts system today. Sure, today your ground fighting, you might evolve and expand it, have more techniques, but still with the Q model system. Just take a look at it, okay? So this is very important. We want to compare technical. It's like you want to compare the Google phone, the Android phone with the Apple phone, the iOS phone. You want to go spec by specs. You don't say, oh, this guy sell more, so he win. This guy sell less, so he lost. And then the guy who is lost is not working. Okay. Now back to 1850 Wing Chun. Well, 1850 Wing Chun, the entire platform is based on general Qi Ji Guang, because Wing Chun's 1850s mother art is Shaolin Short Strike. Shaolin Short Strike is a direct link to general Qi Ji Guang training, as I put it clearly now in the book Kung Fu 1560s and also the Restricting Wing Chun. By details, you know what it is. And of course, it is not 1960s Wing Chun. But technical, got nothing to do with I put down people or I boost people. No. What the data show is what the data show. Okay. Now, so on this MMA thing, in general Qi Ji Guang Q model, there are still, if you're looking into that, there are still a gap today in MMA which do not cover that. So you say, well, Henrik, are you sure? Yes, because this is technical. You look into it and you see, okay, I know what is going on here. So let me share with you what it is. And then you can go look at MMA competition. Today's MMA, okay, will usually like doing a jab and then take down. Okay? Or you just go take down and you're going to groundwork. Right? Of course, you can have kick and those kind of stuff. In 1560s, General Qi Ji Guang classified 4 momentum zones, namely the long fish zone, where you have a lot of room to play. Okay? The short strike zone, where you're sticking at the body at the grabbing range, but it is striking grabbing range, where you press his body. Okay, yes, the term press the body or crush the body or striking. This is the second, this is short strike zone. The third one is the takedown zone. Takedown. And the fourth is the ground fighting. And the general Qi Ji Guang ground fighting is a lot of kicks under the ground, going down the ground, kicks and those kind of stuff. You go down to the ground, but not like today's MMA. You do submission and everything in the ground. Okay, but it does have that ground. Now, there's a reason for that. Why they are not going down to grappling and submissions? As you know that their opponent is Japanese warrior who train with Jiu-Jitsu. Why? Because this is a war. You don't go fight down in the ground, submissions and those kind of game when it is a war. It is a multi-people war, okay, a battle. It's like in a street fight when you get knife and everything for life and death, you don't go down to the ground because there's many people there. Okay, so that is why General Qi Ji Guang do not have those stuff. But instead of kicking and those kind of stuff. So I'm not saying that going down submission and everything is no good. I say that's good, but for the different situations, different thing is needed. For the general Qi Ji Guang situations, it is about life and death. It's not about who is the champion or who can submission who. So it's a different game. Now, the long fish zone, the short strike range, the takedown zone or range, and then the ground zone. You look at today's MMA. Today's MMA go direct from this zone to the takedown zone. Most of it doing that. Okay? So between these two zones, it does not cover as General Chi Chi Guang's short strike zone. It doesn't. Okay? So if you ask me, is General Chi Chi Guang art is better or worse than the MMA? Well, I can tell you. I cannot tell you who is good or bad. But I can tell you that General Chi Chi Guang have this short strike zone. Today, MMA still do not have a mature technology there. Go watch it. Is that true or not? You go from long range, you go takedown. Long range, you go right away grappling. But in the middle, there's a short strike zone there. That is not covered. See, technically, it is true or not. You don't need to trust me. That's what I said. What is the CPU speed? Is that 4G or 5G? Just take a look. So, Wing Chun 1850 is, the uniqueness is in this short strike zone. That is the name of the game of so-called sticking body short strike. 鐵山短打. So from the long fist, short strike, takedown, and ground, the 4 zone, there is a continuity there. If I go straight from here, long fist zone, I go down to the takedown or grappling, I have a gap there. Those who know short strike will be able to intercept there. Okay? Because if we never train in that zone, we don't know how to fight in that zone. So I'm not saying that who is best, who is good or bad. I'm saying technically this exists. So there's an opening there, a gap there in MMA today. So there's a gap today in MMA which is not covered as comprehensive as the General Chi Chi Guang if you want to talk about 4 momentum zone. Now, of course, today's MMA you have the submissive, but then you don't have the ground kick as much as the General Chi Chi Guang too. Right? So I want to leave this with you today. There's a lot of things there, and I rather present this in a technical sense. So hopefully, at least for our friend who is really serious in looking into the martial arts technology, stop to saying, oh, does Wing Chun actually work? Even the question Wing Chun actually work itself is a problematic very generalizations. Asking people, have you sparring? What does it tell? Sparring is just sparring. If you're sparring, do you know that long fist, short strike, takedown, ground fighting, which zone are you missing? You say pressure testing. Well, long fist have more angle to play. Short strike is pressurized. The intensity is really high, and the attack is not just this attack or grabbing the leg going on. The knee and so forth attack at this range is not sweep in this range. This is a long range. This is the close range. You look at the today's in MMA, sure, there's some throw and all those kind of stuff. But like your knee attack to the other parts of the legs and so forth, those practically very rare, right? And yet short strike is there. So the key is, this is the technology. Whether it works or not, history gives you a big data. Okay? Those are more technically solid than I say, this guy can fight this guy. He win. So Wing Chun works. Or this Wing Chun doesn't work. So who represents Wing Chun today? And did anybody ask, is that Wing Chun 1850 or 1960s? If we don't even know about that, how can we make any judgment? So this is what I'd like to share with you today. The water is really deep, okay? And of course, as what I said, this channel is not about like stir things up so that more people say this and more people say that, more people join my YouTube. This channel is to show exactly what it is exactly what it is, technically, by details, by evidence, by scientific verifications. Same with my books, which is I mentioned the Kung Fu 1560s, Resurrecting Wing Chun, and the Wing Chun Inception. If you want to talk about Qi, you better to have a fitness tracker. Sure, you want to talk about Qi, you better to have a fitness tracker and be able to perform what it is present scientifically in the Wing Chun Inception book. So these books, I put the link down in the comment area for whoever interested. Even if you are not interested, you can go Amazon, you read the sample. That's for free, right? Just take a look. That's by technical data, okay? So there's a lot of things there. So it's better to compare things, itemize it, and compare what is what, instead of have this big question, does Wing Chun work or not? And then start to go with, this people say this, that fight this way, that fight that way, who win, who lose, this look like this, that look like this. Well, when you say that it is look like this, that means you don't know.